Welcome to Salaam Nerds Podcast. We do reviews and recaps of nerd culture, reality TV, and current events from this week.
Yo, it's the Salaam Nerds. My name is Steve, aka Watson Steve, and I'm here with my boy Chad.
We drop live episodes on YouTube on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. All episodes can also be found everywhere podcasts are found. Thank you to all our supporters. Please help us by subscribing and leaving a good review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yo, Salaam Nerds. It's your boy Neebs, aka Watch with Neebs, and I'm here with my co-host Jack, aka DJ Kofar.
DJ Kofar.
Because
we go far.
Kofar is the name of the planet that we're going to be on, but like kind of strange how they take it from like, you know, words that sound very Arabic and Islamic, and like it's very interesting where we see these words and we're like, where have I heard the word Kofar before?
Kofar? The non-believer, what?
Yeah. Listen.
Oh,
wait, no, explain
explain
to me.
So
yeah.
No, I know what Kofar in Star Wars is. What does it mean?
Kofar means like non-believer in Arabic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay then.
So
interesting, right?
Yeah.
And then Jeddah is like an actual like city in Saudi Arabia. So there's like all these planets are always sounding very Arab. It's just this sus, it's a little sus.
A little bit more than sus. I told you in the comments last time my theory.
I know.
My goodness.
Listen. Let's introduce you guys to Christine. Welcome back to the show. Christine was on our episode maybe a year ago when we did Bridgerton, and we are having her back for Star Wars. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Oh, Lord, I wasn't ready for that. Hi. I'm Christine. You can find me at SNLJ. I'm just about everywhere, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I tend to either do reviews on shows or I might do original stories, and I use little dolls as my actors and a little mini-me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all about representation. I'm all entertainment, so let's go.
Do it. And you're a big Star Trek fan too, I believe.
I like all the nerd things. Yes, I actually was born a Star Trek fan. I'm only recently a Star Wars fan in the last few years.
I remember I made a video about Star Trek and I was like, Christine's going to see this, so I better put a warning on there.
I remember which video you're talking about, and you got flamed for that. People could not tell it was a joke.
I mean, was it a joke? I don't know.
Better be a joke.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Brown Boy Wonder. That's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Oh, we got Brown Boy Wonder in the comments. Shout out to Brown Boy Wonder. All right, let's talk about episode 4 of Star Wars, The Acolyte. I want to get overall thoughts because I have mixed feelings about this episode, and I'm very curious to see what everyone else feels about this. And I know why I have mixed feelings. I know what they're doing. I know what they're going for. I just don't like this type of episode because like everyone does it, but it's an episode where like almost nothing happened because the entire episode is a setup for the next episode. Basically, that's my only issue with this episode. So that's why I have a little bit of mixed feelings, but I'm very curious to see what the rest of you guys think. Christine, how about you?
The first thing I noticed was when it was over, I was like, wait a minute, that's it? Like it, I was like, was this a half hour, like a sitcom? So I did look, it was only like
30 minutes.
Oh yeah, fully 30 minutes.
Oh, I don't know. It's like 30 minutes is what I remember. Because I remember the actual episode itself was 36 minutes. And like the last 6 minutes are like credits or something. So, yeah. Yeah, and all the multiple languages.
Like, I liked what happened. But at the same time, like you said, you could tell it's just set up for... Because I knew the 5th episode was supposed to be like the big reveal.
Yeah.
I do like the switch. I do like what happened with May. But like you said, it's a teaser. It's a little taste. Yeah.
Try to get it. Jazz, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was definitely too short, and I felt like it dragged at times, especially when they were like talking, and then I mean, don't get me wrong, like the cinematics of them flying onto the planets, I will always love that.
Sure.
But I definitely noticed that a bit more in this episode than other episodes, and the dialogue definitely did drag. And then right at the end, the thing happened, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And then right before the other thing happened, it just cut to credits, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right, fine. We'll wait another week.
Yeah, I have a problem with the thing happening, but I don't mind the other thing happening. And like, it's so funny that like I don't even have to say what it is, and people kind of understand what I'm talking about. So we'll figure it out. So okay, so they're on Kofar. It's kind of like this forest planet, and they're trying to find Kalnaka. So they're trying to find it, and they hire this like, I believe, beaver or something.
His name is Basil.
Basil.
He is Basil. But I didn't see he's like inspired by an animal. I don't think he is directly a beaver, because I feel like, did we see the beaver tail? But he really does look like
a gopher or something. But
something
I mean,
like that.
But I think he's like a sentient like thing.
Yes,
He's not an animal. He's like a person, but like he looks like an animal.
Like Narnia.
Yeah, but like they actually have like actual animals in Star Wars that they could have used, like the dogs from like Clone Wars and the Bad Batch and stuff, but they bring on a person to go around sniffing somebody, and I was like, that's a little degrading, man. That's what's going on here? How do you feel about that, guys?
I didn't honestly give him that much thought.
Yeah,
it just kind of like took me back, like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. It was like he's supposed to be cute and like, I guess, kind of mysterious because you don't know what he's saying. It's almost like a lot of shows have a thing that they always try to replicate, not a show in general, like how, complete tangent, like in Stranger Things, there's always somebody that you love that you know you're gonna love them just so they can kill them. Like Star Wars always has like a non-speaking person or sentient thing, whether it's a droid or like an animal, like a Wookiee, where they're they have like sentience in their personality, but you don't fully know. But someone knows. Someone's completely fluent. Oh yeah, of course I know, because I studied blah 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 blah. So that's like their thing. They gotta slip that in there, and they want to give you new things. So I was like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing, and just like really didn't give him that much.
Well, the main reason we see this guy is to sell toys. let's be real.
That's obviously the real answer.
Let's be real. All right. So we kind of see this new Jedi who's kind of like a ginger, and he's teaching the Star Wars craft. And I'm like, oh, look, Ginger, here you go, white people. Here's your representation. Enjoy. No. They gave him the most Indian sounding name, Lakshay. Like, bro, that's an Indian ass name. Then they gave it to a ginger. That sounds so funny to me.
Even like their robes to me are like Asian inspired. Like everything about the Jedi and all the culture is just like you were saying before, they're taking, but what are they giving back?
Exactly. So. I believe they even said it that the Jedi robes are actually based on Moroccan culture and what people in Morocco wear. So North African is really where they get it from.
Yeah. In fact, Tatooine is named after the city Tatooine, which is in Tunisia. So very North African. Yeah.
Oh,
it's not even like they're not even trying to hide it like on that one. That was a very obvious.
I don't think George Lucas ever tried to hide it. It's just like the white people trying to colonize it and appropriate it and say, no, this is all Star Wars and this is all unique. And it's like, no, like
you got Scarif, which is like close to Sharif. You got Mustafar, which is close to Mustafa. You got like Alderaan. There's an all in front of it.
Yeah, the Kyber crystals are from like Khyber Pakistan. Like
right, yeah,
places all have meanings, man. They're not like, to some people they're probably like, oh wow, but like all the brown people are like, no, we see exactly what you're doing. And then like the storyline they're taking from Dune, which also takes from like Middle Eastern, South Asian, Islamic culture and stuff like that. So even in
Star Wars is woke.
Yeah, well, even in Star Wars, like spice is a allegory for like drugs, basically, and that's where they got it from in Dune. So it's all connected. It's all connected. We do see that Osha shows up and she is leaving. So she's like, "All right, guys, I'm going." So I'm like, interesting. Never seen that happen before. But are you right? We also see a little bit of a connection between her and Daphne Keene's character, Jackie. I can't remember. What's her
Jackie.
name?
It's kind of
Jackie.
like Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about that, guys?
I thought it was sweet because we see Jackie as the one kind of talking to Soul about, well, you shouldn't give in to nostalgia because that
Yeah.
leads to attachment. But then, so you think, oh, maybe she's going to be standoffish, but
Mhm.
then you see them kind of bond on the ship when Osha helps her, and so then she becomes fond of her,
Yeah.
and it just really goes to show I don't understand why they put too much attention on attachment. You can't have friends. Like, it doesn't even make sense at this point. Where yes, you shouldn't put things above, I guess, what is the greater good. But
Mhm.
at what point is it just like too much? You expect people to be robots and not be human. Well, everyone's not human, but you can't like be like a sentient person with
Yeah.
emotions. Like, they don't deal with them. He just kept like, when I keep going on tangents, but when he's talking about her grief, he just like let it go. Like, you got to
Mhm.
deal with grief. You can't just let it go. That's not how it works. You got to deal with it. You got to accept it,
Yeah.
realize what it is, feel it, and work it through it. You can't just be like, okay.
It's so funny
know?
because like Ahsoka and Osha and Anakin are all like
Mhm.
8 years old and stuff, and they're child, and they're taken to become Jedis, and like they're too old to become Jedis, blah blah blah. Luke Skywalker with a grown ass man.
Grown man. I think about that every time they bring it up.
Man was a grown ass man.
I was like, come on now.
All I'm hearing is that General Grievous is going to be the ideal Jedi.
Yeah. No attachment.
Just straight up robot. Yep. No attachment.
The only thing he's attached to with other people's lightsabers, man.
I think he has like 2 organs.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, right, he does.
That's how he does. So sorry, I'm a prequels girly, so like the prequels are my jam. I know all the little
Yeah.
Oh, fair, yeah.
Also, speaking of the prequels, we didn't mention your hair. For those of you guys watching on YouTube, look at her hair. It is amazing.
Thank
Fabulous.
you.
Very
looks like a
Queen
heart.
Amidala. Yeah.
Yep, it's like a little bow, a little heart. It's my go-to when it's really hot out, because right now the East Coast is 95. Well, for us, that's really bad. Jess told us to sit down. 95
I
is
know.
that bad.
know, it's funny because like I was talking smack. I'm like, oh, it can't be that bad here, right? Like, or it's probably equally bad compared to where you are.
Right.
And then I looked at the weather, and tomorrow our high temperature is like 89. So somehow it is hotter in Philadelphia and the East Coast, New York, than it is down here in Houston, Texas. So
It'd be like that sometimes.
climate change is a
That's
bitch.
not fair.
It'd be like that.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
upset about that. What?
Yeah. So we see May trucking along the forest with Khmer, which also Khmer, also Asian sounding name. Khmeria is like literally like our favorite like coffee place in South Asia. Like
It's Yemeni for sure, yeah.
it's a Yemeni coffee place, and I'm like, Khmeria, like come on, bro. Like, but
That
yes,
one I know enough to recognize. I'm like, I know that's not.
no.
Yeah.
So Khmer is trekking to this forest, and he's taking a lot of bags for somebody who is just showing up. What's in those bags, bro? What's in those bags? Is it a change of costume?
Right?
What are your thoughts, guys?
I agree.
I mean, if you want to go to our comments real quick, Brian Boy Wonder mentioned a few minutes ago, like, we know who's under the mask. It's kind of obvious. But here's my thought.
What are your thoughts?
I don't think this is the master.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's a red herring, and I think this is the master's apprentice.
I
Yes,
think
and-
that's very possible. It's very possible.
Yeah, because like I don't think Khmer is the true, master of the Acolyte. Like I know a lot of people are saying he is the master. I don't buy it. I think it's a red herring.
Yeah.
I think he's the apprentice, and we're gonna have another big reveal later on as well. So my thoughts.
No, it makes sense because it's so obvious, it's almost too obvious.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like you said, they do that on purpose. Because when I think it was an episode or two ago when he ran into May in the little alleyway and she almost killed him. He was like, he seemed really chill, but suddenly he comes out of nowhere and fights her, or at least, keeps her from killing him. But
Yeah.
the way she moved was really fast, and he didn't look like he was struggling at all. So it was like, wait a minute, it starts planting those seeds, and then he's the only one that's there. So yeah, it seems really obvious that it's him. But at the same
Yep.
time, there's going to be another huge reveal. I don't think we would. It makes sense that if we don't know it's him, like so. At first, I was thinking I wouldn't be surprised if it is him,
Mm-hmm.
but also if it's not him, also wouldn't be surprised. So they can try to have another little shocking moment,
Yeah.
but.
Qui-Gon Jinn's
Qui-Gon Jinn.
father is under the mask. Oh, that would be very strange.
That would be hilarious.
That would be pretty interesting. Here's the thing about that. Like I love the actor, and I feel like he would do an amazing job as the Sith type character. But yeah, like you said, it's too obvious, and there is probably a bigger mystery. I feel like we're getting close to the end, and it's feeling like the mystery is not gonna pay off, which is what I'm really, really scared of. So like I really hope like they know what they're doing. I hope like if the mystery isn't the main mystery, then like whatever the main mystery is, right? I hope that it's good, like a glass onion type. There's like a mini mystery within a mystery. So we'll see what happens. But what are your thoughts about May talking to Khmer and then just switching it up and saying, you know what, now that my sister's alive, I don't need to do this. And I was like, that's pretty convenient. It felt a little like too fast for me, a little too whiplash with that. And I was curious what you guys had to say about that.
It did seem quick, but I'll say because I went back and rewatched it, they were giving you hints even in the first episode of who she really is. Yes, she wants vengeance because she's so hurt, but she didn't kill that man because of the baby in the
Right.
bar. So she's not completely stone cold assassin. She still has a heart, she still has feelings. She's the
Yeah.
one she thinks she has to do because her whole family is gone. I think they could have shown more of her emotionally struggling, and like you see that moment when she sees Osha for the first time and she goes, Oshi, like you see the emotion on her face. So
Yeah.
you do kind of get a little bit. I think they could have done more with it, but I wasn't surprised that she did turn that way.
Yeah, because like she is going through the forest and she's halfway there and she's about to meet Kelnaka, and then she's like, you know what? I'm good. And I was like,
I feel like it was a lot of internal that we didn't get to hear. Like maybe they could
yeah,
have had something like a voiceover or just like make it more obvious that she was struggling with it the whole way up. As opposed
yeah,
to just like happening out of nowhere.
true. Jazz, what are your thoughts?
As
You're
you're
on
muted.
mute. You're mute.
It was definitely whiplash, and in fact, like the way they did it, I was annoyed. Like her screaming and then luring him into a trap, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, really? That's how you're gonna go about this?" And then do the whiplash right after. Like, I just did not buy it. It felt too quick, and then you know what? Well, I'll get to my next point later when we do the reveal of what happened. So yes,
Okay. All right.
it
Fair.
felt too quick. I don't like it, and here we are.
All right. So we also go back to the High Council, and we meet a character who we have, kind of seen before, and there's some controversy about that. Who wants to talk about that? Jazz? Oh, where did Jazz go? He disappeared.
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. I don't want to talk about it, man. I feel like I'm giving all the trolls and everybody air if like we even say something about it. Like people keep looking for a reason to say Star Wars is breaking canon, and I just do not want to touch that right now.
Mm. All right.
Oh, but for those of you who don't know about what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. Shit.
Hold on. I have his name. Ki Adi Mundi.
Adi, yeah, right, yeah. People keep coming back to this character about why, the way they're portraying him and things he's doing, it's like breaking what's already established, and it's just nonsense. People are looking for reasons to hate on Kathleen Kennedy and like a couple of other women producers at Star Wars. It's just dumb. So
Like,
I don't want to.
I feel like it's a little reaching. They're just looking for an excuse to hate and complain about something. And I'm like, listen, there's actual things to complain about with the show. That,
Correct. There is
show-
actual things to complain about. This isn't one of them.
right? And sure, like I feel like yes, his age is off, but then we learned that his age was technically never canon, and then we learned that he says this line where he goes, "Oh, a Sith has never been seen for a millennia," and then obviously there's a character who may be a Sith. I don't know. I'm sure there's ways to explain it away. Like Star Wars have never been one that to not retcon stuff. So it's like,
Retcon, yeah.
whatever. There's a lot of bigger issues here to fry. I don't really care about it. But yeah, we see them at the High Council, and they're talking about this person, and they're talking about who the master could be, and they're talking about it might be a splinter order, which may make people believe that it's not a Sith, it's a splinter order, right? So we don't know what it could be. It could be evil Jedis for all we know. So I don't know
Now,
how we feel about
that is the more fascinating thing. I feel like this was almost foreshadowing like a future series of Splinter Orders.
Yeah.
So this is cool that they dropped it here, but it's getting lost in all the madness because people just hate women.
Yeah.
Goodness.
We gave them a gender, for goddamn it. Be happy. No, just kidding.
I purposely stayed away from most of the online talk, so I actually didn't know it was such a big deal.
Oh,
Because
it's a big deal, yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna look. I'm just gonna watch, enjoy. My people who I trust, like
Good.
I'll like watch that. But
Yo.
I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that was a huge thing.
No, it's gross. People
No.
are getting death threats over it and being threatened with R word. Like, it's nasty.
Yeah,
What's
that's why
wrong
I
with
stayed away.
it's vile.
No,
It's
mm-mm.
and like if you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's great too. Like I didn't like Book of Boba Fett. I thought that was terrible. But like I'm not going around hating on anybody for it. Like fine, I watched it. It wasn't great. I'll never need to watch it again. Move on. Like
Or
I
at
don't
least
understand.
constructive criticism. Like no one can take it and like you said, deconstruct it for a reason that like there's a plot reason here, or this
Yeah.
isn't making sense. It's just spewing hate for no reason. Yeah, I don't have the capacity for that. I'm too old for that.
No, same,
Yeah.
same.
No, I've seen people like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's the worst thing that happened to Star Wars. And I'm like, did you not watch Andor?
Yeah. Like,
Did you not watch like
The
The
Mandalorian?
Mandalorian? Like, what are you talking about? And then they go off on all these tangents, and I'm like, oh, they've never done like a Birth from the Force before. And I'm like, bruh, Anakin fucking Skywalker. They're like,
I
this
did
twin thing is
hear-
stupid. Bruh, the dyad with Rey and Ben Solo, like, these are not new concepts. This has always been Star Wars.
I heard a
No.
little bit of the opposite, where they're like, it's so disrespectful to Anakin to have another birth like that. Where I do think it's two different things, or like someone is manipulating the Force versus the Force's will to create this person. You know what I mean? So I don't even know why they're making that comparison.
I mean,
But
listen, like when the prequels came out, people thought that whole thing was stupid too. And now they're like, oh, now we have to protect it. Now we have to make it like it's only one person. Like, first of all, it was stupid when it happened. the midichlorians made a baby. like, imagine hearing that for the first time. Like, what the fuck is this?
What's a midichlorian?
Right? It's really, really funny to me. But yeah, we see that. So let's move on. So basically what happens is they're talking about getting May, and we kind of see, Q-Undi and someone else. They're kind of talking in the back a little bit and looking a little sus. But then they're like, hey, Soul is like, hey, if I can get May, I can get Osha to talk to May. Maybe we can turn her or something like that. So they're like, all right, fine. They go and they do that. And Osha is about to leave. And then he stops her and says, hey, I need your help. And she's like, she does a thing that's like really annoying where she's like, okay, fine. But the one thing I'm not going to do is wear the civilian robe. And then it cut to the next scene of her wearing the civilian robe. And like, I rolled my eyes a little at that. I was like, come on.
I hate that in editing. I'm so sick of it. That and when someone jumps off a cliff, I'm supposed to be in suspense, but then they fly up off of something. Like,
Yeah.
just stop doing these things.
Or they're like, you say something bad about somebody and like, they're right behind me, isn't she? Like,
Yeah,
Cut
exactly.
it out, please. Never do it again.
I hate that. I hate that to death. So I was
And
like,
these are legitimate concerns we have with these shows, right? This is something we can actually complain about. not the other stuff.
Yeah. Didn't they say that they specifically? It was like a council meeting, but like they made it a secret council. Like it's not the High Council.
Yeah. They weren't
they
going to talk
didn't.
to the High Council because the High Council was going to tell the Senate, and that's going to create
Right.
a more bigger issue than it is. So they're kind of like keeping it under wraps at the moment, which could explain why Mundi was kind of like didn't say anything about the Sith. You know, I mean, I'm sure they're going to find reasons to explain that. So like, I don't really care. That's not a big issue.
Yeah. I thought it was a neat way to like keep Yoda out of it.
Yeah.
Homie's only like 800 years old. Like he's
everybody wants to see Yoda.
Yeah,
and,
it would
like,
kind of detract.
We're good.
Yeah.
No,
Now, here's an actual criticism. Like, I'm pretty sure the High Council, Masters of the Force, they can probably feel this disturbance already. Like, there is a legit criticism there.
Oh,
Should be able to anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, like that's an actual criticism. Like, yes, the show may not be, great, but not for the reasons you're seeing online.
Yeah. No, that's
so
true.
far I'm really enjoying it though. Like, a couple criticisms here and there, but for me,
I really like the third episode. I feel like the first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, this is getting its legs. Third episode, I'm like, ooh, I'm in. Fourth episode, like, ooh, I don't know. The momentum's gone a little bit because they're setting up for the 5th episode, right? But they're getting 8 episodes, and 8 episodes works a lot better than the 6 episodes format. So I have a little bit more faith, but I do think they need 8 episodes that are an hour long, not 8 episodes that are like 30 minutes long. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but it's still better than the Obi-Wan Kenobi 6 episode format. I feel like that doesn't work really.
They did them a disservice there. Even Ahsoka, they did a disservice. That could have been way more.
Yeah. So, I feel like anyways, Andor kind of set the standard where it's like,
yes,
that at that level, please.
Yeah. Oh man, Andor's so good. All right, so she asked them if they want her to rejoin the Jedi, and they're like, no, we don't want you to rejoin. We just want you to help us out a little bit.
Egg on your face. Like,
yeah.
You're like, no, we're good.
It's like when you go to a coworker and be like, hey, I need you to work on Saturday. And you'd be like, oh, am I getting paid overtime? No.
Actually,
no.
But we'll love you if you do it.
Yeah, be a team player. You'll get some recognition. we'll mention you in the newsletter.
Right.
So that's fine. So they get this tracker guy. The tracker guy is tracking Kelnaka, which is also hella weird that they have like something of Kelnaka scent just like lying around.
He went to his locker.
They went to his locker.
No, I'm just making a joke. I have no idea what they did. I'm just saying.
That's probably what they did though, for real. He's been in his Shrek home for like the last like 2 years, but somehow they found this little like fabric of his that still has a scent. So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I don't imagine Wookiees. I don't imagine Wookiees like, not having a scent. So it might be just really easy to maintain that over however many years Kelnaka's been gone.
Are you saying Wookiees smell bad?
I am exactly saying that. Wookiees probably smell terrible. Come at me, people.
They probably smell like wet dog.
Yeah, right. Like all that hair and like, a tropical environment like that. He's probably in the mud and like, yeah, like I believe it.
It's gotta take at least 5 showers a day just to keep it down. But I would think it's funny if there's like this huge wall, like a collection with tiny little lockers. Everyone has a scent. Like all the Jedi have to have something, put their scent on it in case things go awry.
Yeah, I bet the Sith have it too. Like Savage probably wears Savage.
You did not do that.
Wookiees wear Axe body spray. so Wookiees were all my friends in college, basically.
Gosh, I remember everybody was wearing that. Yeah.
Oh my god! All right.
Good times.
So Yord and Osha have a little bit of a conversation where she's like, "Hey, if you see May, you're gonna have to kill her because I can't do it." And he's like, "Well, Master Soul is very wise. If he thinks that there's a reason for you to be here, there's a reason." He's very by the books, and he's another character where like we're not really getting a chance to understand him. Maybe he has a little bit of like more of a character we're going to see. I feel like we've gotten nothing out of this guy, so I'm hoping we can see more of Yord because he's really just like by the books, Blue Lives Matter kind of Jedi at the moment.
That's exactly who he is. We've seen a tiny, tiny bit of how he does have affection for her, and he has known her since a youngling. But like I said, a tiny bit, you have to like be paying attention. One thing I will say, if you know Freddie's roommate, he made a video about how we're kind of getting sick of seeing that same hair on every new
Yeah,
black character.
Killmonger here. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
the Killmonger crazy hair, but Mason for Killmonger, like it makes no sense on this Blue Lives Matter cop. Okay,
yeah,
he should
yeah.
have like
That's
as a
so
black guy.
true.
No,
That's
he needs
so
to have like a
true.
high and tight fade with like an inch and a half, like of curly hair. Like
Yo,
that's what he should have. His little cop self.
he has no business having that. Yeah, you're right. That's
None at all.
something I never thought of because that makes a lot of sense. Because like they give it to Miles Morales, they gave it to
Hmm.
Static Shock, they give it to like a lot of these characters, and I get it. It's like a cool hairstyle for sure. But it's like I have a character and I want to make him cool. What do? Give him this hairstyle.
That's
Like,
what they do. I don't
yeah,
know if you noticed. I did a lot. Like if you look at those '90s cartoons,
yeah,
black guys all had the same thing, like a high
yeah.
top cut.
The
Like they don't know how
Kwame
to do
from
anything.
Captain Planet.
Yep. The
Right?
Captain Planet. Now I can't think of anything.
Jared from Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold. Hmm.
There's a lot. There's
There
definitely
are
a
a
lot.
ton, like all of them. I've seen one of those grids with all of them. I was like, yeah, everyone had the same exact thing.
Yeah, damn it, and they're doing it the same. Like, yeah, that's really interesting.
They're like, ooh,
Even
something cool. Hmm?
yeah, even in like I think one of the Star Wars game, there's like a character with that hairstyle, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, but he's not cool enough to have that on a hairstyle.
At all. Doesn't
He,
work.
yeah, he's like they're ironing his robes and shit, and then like while he sits on the best, he's trying to make sure they don't crease. Like, bro, that's
No.
serious.
No. Military high tight fade with like a very sharp hairline.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to have.
John Stewart from Green Lantern. That's another one. That's who I think he is. I feel like he is John Stewart from Green Lantern, from Justice League. It's like very like military, straight by the books kind of police cop guy. But then they give him like this super cool haircut, and I was like, oh man, I really thought he was gonna be cool.
And then like what makes it hit worse is that the way they gave the mom, her locks were like so beautiful and like it really matched her
Yeah,
character. Like how do you
yeah,
do so well with one and then
yeah,
like
yeah.
so terrible with another? Like y'all only have the capacity for like to do it right once. But
Yeah, it's so interesting.
yeah.
That's a really good point. I never really thought about that. I appreciate you bringing that up because number one, that's
Yeah,
not even something
that's
I
a
would
blind spot for us.
That's a blind
Yeah.
spot for us. I was like, oh, like,
That's why I'm here.
yeah, we appreciate you dropping that on us. That's pretty cool. So she's going through the forest and she sees these bugs and she can sense them and she touches them, which you're like, if you play any video game, you're like, hey, don't touch it, man. They're gonna wake up. and then they're like basically getting attacked by it, and then they bring out the lightsaber and the thing goes straight for the lightsaber, and the person goes, oh, it looks like they came straight for the lightsaber, and I'm like, that's an interesting, like they put that in there because obviously that's going to come back. They're going to use that.
Yeah, they're attracted to light.
Yeah, attracted to that. They're going to use that later. That was such a little exposition, kind of like, I'm going to explain something, but I'm not going to do a good job hiding it. It's not
Right.
subtle.
And I'm surprised that
It's
like
too
it wasn't a
obvious.
swarm, that one like waking up and flipping out didn't like wake up more. So I guess it's
Yeah.
gonna happen later. So
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Something's going to happen later where they're like, oh, going to be trapped somewhere. And they're going to be like, oh, how do we get out of this? And they're like, oh, open up your lightsabers and we'll get all these swarms to come. And then they'll come and then they'll distract them and they'll get away. Watch that happen. Exactly. I'm going to clip this.
Or the bad guy's gonna like unleash them, and then they'll be like, "Oh, remember they're attracted to light. Get your lightsabers out, and then it'll be easier to deal with it or something." Like
Yeah.
I see either of those two
Yeah.
paths happening.
Yeah. We're going to see that.
Too
All
obvious.
right. Yeah. All right.
Oh wait, before we move on,
Let's do it.
one thing I wanted to point out. I mean, she says it later, but at that moment when she feels them, she's saying she got it back. Like
Yeah,
for
the
a
sense.
while, she wasn't, because we saw her try to in like the first or second episode try to get her little droid to
Yeah.
help her when she's locked in that the prison transport.
Mhm.
So the reason she like lost her mind because she hasn't been able to feel like the force for a while. Now it's
Yeah.
coming back. And I honestly think that's why she survived the crash, because she wasn't even bruised. She wasn't limping when she ran away. Like
No.
they're like, oh, no one can survive this.
Nothing.
And she's like, put on the backpack and like run out into the snow. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and her connection with her sister that's coming back out of nowhere. I feel like, I think that's what they're trying to portray, is that like it's waking up inside her.
That's true. And that's not uncommon. Like we've seen people being cut off from the Force before. It's possible to get cut off from the Force and then get back with the Force. That happens all the time. So yeah, I see that. We also see a line where I think Jackie says, "We are not defined by what we lose, but what we survive." And I was like, "Ooh, that was a nice piece of dialogue. I really liked that. I thought that was really cool." I don't love a lot of the dialogue, but they do have a few gems here and there, so I did like that.
Well, that's pretty on point for Star Wars. The dialogue is never the strong point.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Best line ever.
I love that line. It's so funny to me.
I mean, oh wait. Oh, I know what they're doing.
What?
Well,
I know who the bad guy is.
Don't say
It's
Palpatine.
probably Plagueis. It's probably Plagueis or his master.
Well, we've that's been like hinted at for a while because we like timeline wise, it would be like Plagueis or his master Tenebris, right? A lot of people are thinking that, but we don't know, so we'll have to wait and see. But
yeah,
that person, whoever that person is not in that Sith suit because their heads are like huge, so they wouldn't fit in there unless they like shrunk their heads.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, no, because like now I'm thinking like, oh yeah, it could be them because Plagueis, you know, one, he brought life to be, right? Now we have a birth and from the Force essentially. Like, this might be a way to introduce Plagueis and his storyline. So that just occurred to me.
And the thing is, like, Star Wars has always been about this like thing for immortality, right? That's really what it's been about for a while, because we talk about Darth Plagueis and he found a way for immortality and like it's unnatural. And then we find Darth Sidious and, you know, the Emperor trying to find ways to clone himself. So there's always been this like
Project Necromancer from Bad Batch.
So there's always been this like ongoing theme of like extending life, right? In a way, for Star Wars and for these Sith and stuff like that. So I'm very curious about like where they're gonna go with that. I think this
wants to be Voldemort.
Yeah,
straight up Voldemort.
Imagine that, like Star Wars, Harry Potter. That'd be the best crossover ever.
Like,
don't they have those little like
lightsaber, but it's a wand?
Don't they have the little triangular pyramid things where they can like essentially put their memories in there? Like that's pretty much a Horcrux, right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, holocron.
Someone says
the holocrons.
Someone says it's like Dragon Ball Z. I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z, but I believe you.
Dragon Ball Z, essentially, there are 7 Dragon Balls, and they scatter. When you collect all of them, you get a wish from this magic dragon. You can wish anything. Usually, they wish Krillin back to life because Krillin always dies. But you can like literally wish for anything.
I like I just casually mentioned it, but yes, homie dies like 80 times in the series.
Well,
it's really
like
bad.
The like regular human. Everyone else is like super powerful. He grew up with Goku, the main guy. But like obviously Goku was like always like that guy. Krillin was like trying to catch up and keep up. But he's his best friend, so he always was there fighting. But he like always gets murked by the main whoever the villain is that season. And like by the time they get the Dragon Balls, we got to bring him back to life.
Every time.
Sorry, just showing my old school nerd a little bit.
I'm impressed, but also confused.
You should watch Dragon Ball Z, Neebs. That's your next anime.
It's not on any platform. I don't know how to watch it, and I'm also still doing. Yeah, I'm still doing One Piece too, so we'll figure that out. That's gonna take.
It'll be easier for you to watch Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z because Dragon Ball Z is a lot longer, has a lot of fillers. I always thought Dragon Ball is better. He's younger. That's when he actually meets Krillin when they're like just little kids.
Oh,
and it's shorter, so it's easier.
Okay, I think there is one that's available on HBO or Hulu, but I think it's Super Dragon Ball. Which one is that? Is that one?
Oh, Dragon Ball Super? That's a new one.
Oh, it's new. Never mind. All right. We'll talk about that. But
Brown Boy Wonder saying it's on Hulu, but it's Dragon Ball Z Kai, which is like kind of the remake they did.
I think that's the better one because they took all the filler episodes out because it was coming out when the manga was coming out. So like they'll have like really. There was like a good 3 episodes where Goku did nothing but like gather energy to make a spirit bomb
and just scream for 20 minutes.
Yes, I was like, come on now.
Yo, you know they have a box where you can go Scion and it measures you. So like you basically go into a box and you like scream and it measures like how your Scion level or whatever is going Super Saiyan.
That's cool. Where's that at?
it was like a pop-up shop somewhere at some con. It's like a basically like a cylindrical like glass box, and you just yell in it. It's like you're in a glass cage of emotions, like
Yes.
like an Anchorman. But yeah, but it measures you. You can see like it rising, and if you get to the top, it goes like Super Saiyan.
Oh yes.
So
Warm up
it's
the
cool.
diaphragm. I'll pull up
Yeah.
my theater. All the tricks.
All right.
It's just a bunch of nerds in there screaming. It's hilarious. We love it. We
I
love
want to do it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to do it.
All right. Well, speaking of screaming, we hear May screaming. You like that transition?
That was good. That was slick. Kept going.
Outstanding.
So we hear May screaming, and what you call it? Chimera comes running. He gets set up to a trap. He's hung upside down, and she goes, "Well, listen, you said that nothing changes, but I really thought about it, and I don't think I need to do this anymore. So I'm going to turn myself in." And I was like, like, did she really think that? Because you still kill somebody. You think they're gonna go easy on you just because you're like, oh, some random Jedi master made me do it? Like, I don't think that's going to get her off as much leniency as she thinks.
I think
But-
she thought she could trade information because she said, because of who I know. So
Who
she
does-
knows that they want her master or whatever, or maybe somebody else. That's what she said. So I think she thinks the information is valuable enough that she could
Yeah.
trade it.
But she also
So-
said she doesn't know who he is, and she's never seen him like in his
Right.
face. So I
So
don't know.
I don't know. That's what she said. She said
Yeah,
both. Like
she did
she's
say
never
both, you're
met
right.
him,
Yep.
but they know. But because of who I know, so maybe it's somebody else.
Yeah, and I think we all said like we thought this was a little too quick. We should have marinated on a little bit more and see her struggle with it. Kind of just happened all of a sudden. So that was one thing. And then we see her go into the little Shrek hut, and we're like, oh, she's going to meet Kilnaka, but turns out Kilnaka, he dead. he big dead. What are your thoughts about that?
I think Quamir got loose, and
For
like
sure.
you know how they can they're not really consistent with like force abilities, but
Yeah.
I've seen them run super fast, or it's like we're like basically flying. So
Yeah.
he got loose, did the thing, got changed,
That's
showed
true.
up when all the Jedi came.
I mean, he had all those bags for a reason, right? Like, he was doing
Right?
something
Was
with
it
them,
like was
right?
it camping equipment? He said it was like a day's walk. Why do you need that many bags?
That is
Just to kill
true.
without a weapon.
That is true, man. They're not like granola bars and like jerky. Like, what you got in there, bro? He's like one of the elves from Lord of the Rings, like 11, like second breakfast and 11sies and all that stuff,
Elevensies.
whatever they
Yes.
are. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yeah, I do understand that. There is a thing where you're like, oh, if somebody has the force, other force users can sense it. But people have been known to be able to hide their force sensitivity, and we just saw that in the video game recently with Cal Kestis and one of the Jedis in that video game. So it is possible to be a Jedi and be force sensitive and kind of make it undetectable to other Jedis. So that is something that Chimera might have done, so we don't know. But yeah, it seems very obvious that it was him and that he got loose. And then we see all the Jedis there, and she understands like, oh, he's here. And then we see all the Jedis turn to Osha, and we see this like person just hover from the ground and float down and come behind her. This scene, I love this scene. This scene was
Yeah.
dope. And then right before he comes up to her, he like flicks her away. So he has no interest in killing her. And then he push back all of the Jedi, which is amazing because we already learned in the other episode, like the power of 2 is stronger. So all these Jedi have coming at him, and he's able to repel them all. And also with all the colorful lightsabers and the sand, it looked beautiful. This entire scene was amazing. It was just too short, but it was fantastic. I loved it. What are your thoughts?
No, I completely agree. It was great because at first I didn't notice it, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What was that?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, girl, get out the way!" No,
What
you
is
know, when he
that?
flicked her
What is
aside, like,
that?
oh my gosh! But it was epic to watch. It was really well done. I think, like you said, with like the different colors with the sabers, it just looked really cool on the screen. So it was just like it was like that one moment where it's like, oh yes. But like
Yeah.
you said, they could have done a lot more and like made it a little bit fuller.
Yeah.
Give us more time.
I just feel like not a lot happened, and the stuff that did happen was like very quick, like her changing her mind and
Mhm.
being dead. It was like, oh man, this is happening super fast, but also super slow at the same time. And I
We
was
could have
like,
got like
Yep.
another good 10 minutes. Like if you
yeah,
added her internal struggles, we could have
yes,
learned more about Jord. I keep wanting to call him Jord. I don't know why.
yeah,
But yeah, we can learn about Jord and like see a little bit more of Jackie. And like there's a lot more like to make them more human, make us actually care about them, not just, oh, they're all on a quest. We need to follow them because they're there, you know?
right,
So they could have
right.
definitely filled that out more.
Yeah, it really just seemed like there's a whole SWAT team there, and it's 1v20, right? It's just like to
Come on.
quote Kendrick. But yeah,
And the one's winning.
and the one's winning, and it's really cool. How do you feel about the design of the Sith? Oh my god, that smile is so creepy. I love it. I think that's my favorite design of any Sith.
The helmet definitely was really cool, man. Like the way they just had that, I was like, oh, we're in trouble here.
It's very intimidating. Like I didn't like I thought Kylo Ren had a good one, but I was like, it's not really that intimidating. And then like Darth Vader is classic. Darth
Mhm.
Maul is pretty good. But like there hasn't been like Sith that are like super scary. Like that's a scary ass Sith. So I don't know. I really, really like that. Jazz, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it definitely brought like psycho clown vibes kind of thing. And
Yeah.
like that's it's such a sadistic smile. And then the way he just used the force so easily, like he's gonna enjoy killing these people. It's like a really creepy feeling, like
Yeah.
seeing that. And so yeah, this scene was beautiful, and yeah, it's just too short. It should not have ended this way. I cannot wait to see the next one.
I do feel like that motherfucker definitely can't see in that shit, right? Like, even the actor.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. Homie's a force master. He can detect everything around him. Like
That's
easy.
fair, but I know that actor cannot see shit.
They do some really clever things where like it looks solid, but it's actually like fabric. So close enough
Oh
to your
yeah,
face you can see.
that is true. They do that with the Spider-Man too. Like like his eyes are not really there and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So that's fair. In fact, a lot of the time the Spider-Man mask is not even like there. They
I
do this
saw
thing.
that.
They just go like this, and that's it.
Yeah.
And the mask is on, and like it makes sense because like putting on a mask is like more easier than just going flip. So I get that, but yeah, it's true. That might be CGI. You guys make a good point.
Well, I don't know if it's CGI. I mean, even if it's practical. I mean,
Yeah.
practically, it could be something where like this part is hard, but it's not like solid.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
and
mesh
it's
or
like
something.
fabric. It's like a mesh fabric where up close to you, you can see through it. But if you look at it, you can't see through it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So like
Yeah.
No,
you
I
see
get it.
out but not in.
Yeah, wrestling matches do this a lot. They have like a blindfold match where they put blindfolds on both wrestlers
Yeah.
and have them wrestle. So to the audience, it looks like they're blindfold, but really they can see
Mhm.
because from their perspective, there's like a little bit of a mesh there. So I definitely agree with you. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this character and how do you feel about him so far, Christine?
I mean, he looks really cool.
Yeah.
I don't really have. I just want to know who. I kind of want to know who he is.
Will you
I
be
guess
disappointed
to me,
if it's Kamir, or do you
if
think
it's
that
Kamir,
that's
I'll
kind of
just
fun?
laugh. I'm like, I knew it. For me, I guess the mystery isn't really in his identity. It's like they're going to tell me when they tell me.
Yeah,
I'm personally more interested in the real story of what happened with those 4 Jedi and
yeah,
why he felt. So that's the mystery to me.
me
Like, I don't know
too.
if it's because I'm a girl. I'm like, oh, cool, Sith. Anyway, what happened with her mom? Like, I want to know why that one Jedi felt guilty enough to
Yeah,
say we thought we were doing the right thing and to take the poison. You know what I mean? Like, I
that's
want to know what
true.
really happened.
Yo, we need to start a hashtag justice for the coven, man. Like we need to know what happened.
Right.
Like I totally agree. We
Because
need
I mean,
even
investigation.
Soul hinted at it this episode.
Yes, because even Soul said that I'll tell you the truth. And you could tell it's like, oh yeah, no, something sinister, or maybe they meant to do the right thing, but then they really did. Was like, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I'm not saying they were like straight up evil. Like maybe that's the red herring to make it seem like it's something they did something intentionally evil.
Yeah.
But just something where like, oh, we messed up. You know, something happened.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be something like, oh, it was a misunderstanding or it was a mistake. Like I want them to
Mhm.
own it. I want them to be like, yo, we messed up. We did something bad. We made a bad decision.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see because I feel like a lot of times when you have these like good guys like the Jedi's and they do something bad, it's kind of like, oh, but from their perspective, it wasn't that bad, and they did what they thought was right. And I'm like, I don't want them to take the easy way out. I want this to give us something we haven't seen before. I don't want this show full of tropes. I want this to be something unique.
Yes,
I don't
these
think they're
space
doing
cops have
that.
qualified immunity. They get to do bad things.
The
Come
way
on.
they're like showing their guilt, I don't think they're gonna go that way. I think maybe back then they thought they were doing something good, but like as of right now, I think they're at the point where they are ready to take accountability. Like with the poisoner was Soul saying, "I need to confess this to you," type of thing, you know. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think it's gonna go that way. So it really feels like whatever it is, they're gonna take ownership of. We thought it was okay, but no, now we realize like we really should not have done that, and it should not have gone down the way it did. And I really think that Yord isn't going to be able to handle it. He's too straight laced by the book to be handle any kind of like shaking of
Yeah.
his foundation or belief in the Jedi.
Yeah, I'm worried that it's going to be like it was actually one of the witches behind the whole thing, and they just made it look like the Jedi's did it. And then we're going to find out that it was one of the witches controlling the Jedi's.
I don't think so. Only because why would they feel guilty about that?
Because the witches know and they don't. I don't know.
They're all dead. It will never come out.
That is true. I don't know. I'm
And
curious.
then Soul sacrifices himself and saves May, and then gives her his lightsaber.
Oh my god! I really hope the show isn't that predictable.
Probably.
The main reason I don't want this show to be that predictable is because I don't want all the haters to be right. Like I don't want them to be right. I want the show to be good. Hopefully the mystery is good enough, but it could go either way for me to be at this point. It all depends on how good the mystery is, how good the reveal is. I think, but that's like all mysteries, right? Like mystery shows, they all hinge on the reveal and the ending and the mystery, right?
Exactly.
And the distractions, right? Like the red herrings and stuff. That's every like mystery show or movie and stuff like that. So we just got to enjoy the ride, and if we end up liking it, great. If we end up not liking it, it's fine. It's 100 years in the past. Like, it does it really make a difference to the stuff you currently like? No.
No matter what happens, I'm ride or die. I'm going to support Amandla. I'm so happy she got this.
Yeah.
She's doing great with it. Like when she does her physical stuff, she is throwing down. Like she
Yeah.
is holding her own. Having to fight Carrie and Moss, I would be so scared. But she really did her thing and has been consistently holding herself differently when she's Osha and when she's May.
Yeah.
What is difficult to do as an actor, because like as a person, you like have a walk, you have a certain way. Like you do things that sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. But to be able to break down and actually hold a different stance, a different presence when playing two different characters. I've only seen a few people really do this well. And one of them,
Lindsay Lohan.
Oh gosh.
This is actually just Parent Trap in space. This is the entire plot.
Oh my gosh. She did two different accents. I mean, she was like 12 or whatever. I can't think of his name now, but actually Bane, the Bane actor, when he was in Legend, he played these twins. And you wouldn't even know like it was the same person. It was amazing to watch.
No, that's cool. No, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see what's going on. I am totally open to seeing what this show calls for, and I have a lot of faith. And like, you know, she's done a lot of good stuff. I think she's done like Russian Doll, and a lot of her shows are good. So I know she has the talent to make a good show. But whenever I see these shows and they don't do well, I almost never blame the directors. I always blame like the studio, because I feel like Marvel and Disney, they have their hands too much in the project, and they don't let the directors like really like, you know, go with their vision unless they have like the power, right? Like the Russo brothers, they have enough credibility to push back and do whatever they want. But like someone like, you know, the director of the Marvels, who it was the first time ever for her to direct something that big. She only did Candyman before that. I see them bullying her into shortening it, cutting it, making it more fun, and when she probably wants to make it more like a well-rounded movie. Well, a lot of the times, like I see these movies, and when they don't reach expectations, I don't blame the directors. I blame
studio.
the network, the studios, because they want something formulaic, and then these directors want to do something unique, and then they try to compromise, and then they get something neither of them like, and that's what I'm afraid happened here.
Yeah, it
believe
tends
it.
to happen. It feels like it happens a lot. And then it's almost as if they have their hand in it too much, the studios, but also not enough. Because
Yeah,
my, oh, like the thing I hate the most, the bane of my like Marvel existence is Loki. I know it's one of the more popular shows, but if you
ooh,
actually watch Avengers, because he is the Loki from Avengers, plucked out, put into a new, like a new situation, right?
yes,
He doesn't talk the same. He doesn't walk the same. Like he is not the same person. Like,
oh yeah,
and the writer Michael Waldron,
yeah.
he tweeted, "Oh, it's time to watch Avengers." He never even saw the movie, so like you're making a continuation of something that you've never even seen.
That's weird. Well, I
No,
don't
I didn't
understand why
know
directors
that.
do that. I hate when people like Reddit to like flex like that. Like I've never seen any of this stuff, and I
Mhm.
made this, and it's kind of like I don't like. Is that supposed to be a flex, or are you trying to like be like, oh, you don't need to read the source material in order to put something together? Because I agree with you. I feel like that Loki is the Loki after Infinity Wars. That's the one
Yeah,
he feels like. He doesn't feel like the Loki after Avengers. But then they have like a
Yeah.
scene where he watches a few clips and you're led to believe that he has like 10 movies of character development in like
yeah,
5 minutes.
yeah. No, that's not how it works. That man is messed up, and I don't care what he saw. Like he found out his mother died, his brother died, his father, like everybody's dead, and he just goes like has a few tears, and then is bouncing around and with Mobius, like trying to be cute and mischievous. What? He's not mischievous. This is the same man that like stabbed Thor as a child.
Yeah.
Remember that whole thing where he like there's a whole storyline where he pretended to be a snake and then
Yeah.
like stabs Thor. So that's way before Avengers. So we know that that's still canon for him. Like this is the kind of
Yeah.
person that he is. He is not a mischievous little scamp. Sorry.
Fair.
That is yeah, no. That sugar gets on my ever-living nerve.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's fair.
I respect it.
So we talked a little bit
No,
about
you're right.
what we thought is going to happen. I'm hoping to be proven wrong. I'm hoping there's like a twist that I don't see coming, but I also hope it's not a twist where like nobody sees coming. It's like super random. I feel like I would hate that too. It needs to be like relevant because like even though we do know there's a mystery of like what happened on that planet with the Jedi, we also know there's the mystery of this Sith Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And how do they relate? Are they just two different mysteries or are they connected somehow? And is the connection strong enough to make us care? That's what the next
Interesting.
episode has to offer us. If not, it might lose some people. If it does, though, I think people are going to be like eating their words and being like, whoa, they
I
really
hope they
pulled
do.
something on. Yeah.
But what you just said about those two myths, because in my mind, they were never connected. But if they were,
Yeah.
if it's the mom who actually carried the children or something crazy like, because you know how she was trying to be much more strict, like that would be amazing.
We never
Because
saw
I was
her die.
thinking,
We never
because
saw
the
her dead
reason
body.
we never, everything happens off screen, and the reason why Chimera is so obvious because like who else is there that it could be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, if it's somebody, one of the witches from the past, that would be, I think, a really good twist.
Yeah.
It's Darth Maul's
One of the
mom.
moms.
Darth
you say?
Maul's mom. Darth Mom.
Darth Mom.
Oh man,
God.
that'd be crazy. That's crazy. I
It's
wonder.
Qui-Gon.
I don't know.
Anakin's dad.
Here's the thing: they have said that they're not going to rely on cameos. So I really don't think they're going to rely on a cameo for the big reveal. It's going to be a character we've never seen before, but hopefully they tie in well enough where we actually care. That's what I'm.
Give me Darth Plagueis. Give me Tenebris. Give me any like old Sith master. That'd be cool.
I know. But we'll see, man. They have 8 episodes. We're only halfway there. So there's still a lot of story left to tell. So this show could, really pull it off. So I'm really hoping. I think we just got to be patient. And if we're right, great. If we're not, that's fine too. It's Jar Jar Binks.
My gosh.
You know what? I would be so happy if it was.
Well, here's the thing. The whole Kimar being the Sith Jedi, it's very Jar Jar Binks, Darth Jar storyline. It's the same thing. It's a bumbling idiot who doesn't know what he's kind of doing and who's like the silly character. And in real life, he's a Kaiser Sose who's like this master manipulator. I could see that. That's pretty much the same thing.
God damn it.
So then,
It's the same concept.
I can't even
if
talk.
they do this, if they do this as a way to make fun of that or like call out the Jar Jar Binks theory, I will be actually okay with this because then I will laugh at everybody for being stupid.
Well, first of all, the Jar Jar Binks theory is actually happening because I don't know if you guys heard of that Lego movie that's coming out, the Star Wars Lego movie. We officially get Darth Jar Jar in it.
Okay, it's a Lego
Stop.
movie though.
First of all,
Don't hate on the Lego movies,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, don't hate on the
I'm
Lego
not
movie.
hating on the Lego movie, but they're
Lego
not canon, are
Batman
they?
is like the Lego Batman is like the third best Batman there is. So let's be real.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it may not be canon to like any of the stories.
That's fine. We still get it. I don't care if
It's
it's
Okay, I'm
canon in
happy.
its own Star Wars multiverse. Okay,
It's
everything's
canon-
canon somewhere.
It's canon in my heart.
No, you can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. Give me Darth Jar Jar. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Christine, let people know where they can find you.
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at SinelleJ, CinelleJay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being us, and we'll definitely try to have you back for our Bridgerton episode. I think that'll be really, really fun. And
I
we'll
should
try to
watch
have-
Bridgerton.
I love being here.
Yeah. We loved having you here. Listen, you bring up some good points. You a lot of our blind spots too. So
Yeah.
Always
it's-
welcome.
they're always welcome, and we love it. And as the comment section is saying right now, you are the GOAT. So we
Oh, thank you.
we
Appreciate
love you. We love your
guys.
videos. And guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Please give us a review. We only have like 15, 16 reviews. We want to get like maybe 25. Get on to 25. It'd be really nice. Say something nice about us. You know?
I want 18.
Why 18?
Just a random number.
Oh, so they're illegal?
So they're adults. I was gonna say the same thing.
All right. Get us some reviews.
I
We
want
wanna get some-
21 so they can drink.
Yeah, well, the reviews helps us in the algorithm. So go on Apple Podcasts, give us a review. If you're on Spotify, give us 5 stars. They help us in the algorithm, helps people find us. And the more people we have, the more production value we could put in some of these episodes. So that's really all we have. Thank you so much, and until next time, guys. Salaam, nerds.
Peace.
Bye.